Senator Rice.
Thank you, Mr President. I want to acknowledge that we're here today on the lands of the Ngunnawal and Ngambri people, and that sovereignty was never ceded, and that all of us, other than the first Australians, are migrants to this country. And in the 200 years of settlement of this country, there has been a lot of hatred, there's been a lot of prejudice, there's been a lot of hurt, there's been a lot of harm. But we have been building a country, we have been striving for a country that acknowledges and celebrates people regardless of who they are, regardless of their background, celebrates people for what they contribute, celebrates our common humanity. We have been building that country. I grew up in Altona, which was a highly multicultural suburb, many post-war migrants from all over the world. I live in Footscray, where almost half the population were born outside Australia or have parents who were born outside Australia. And it is a country, a suburb, a community which is thriving, that we have been building this sense of we are all together as Australians. We're all together as citizens of the world, but we're all together as Australians building a peaceful, harmonious society. And that's what we have been working towards. We have been striving towards that. And in supporting this motion today, I want us to recognise how precious that is, this striving towards a country that does recognise and celebrate people regardless of their background, regardless of their race, their religion, their sex, their sexuality, their abilities, that we are all humans, that we can all contribute, that we all working together to be furthering a better and more tolerant and more celebratory society of all of us. That's what we've been striving for. But I also want to acknowledge that over the last decade, and certainly in the 4 years that I've been in this Senate, how we have been moving away from that. How probably up until about a decade ago there was the sense that we were still making progress, that we were still making progress towards a more equal society where everybody was celebrated regardless of their background. But over the last decade we have been moving away from that. There has been this rising racism in our society, rising intolerance of people, and division and hatred because of difference with people. So I'm hoping that this motion, that debating this motion today and this reaction to the awful hatredness of Senator Anning's speech last night can be a pivotal moment for us to recognise that we have got something precious here in Australia of our multicultural society to show that we can exist harmoniously together. But we've got to work at it, and we have got to totally reject the hateful racism such was on show last night and is at rise in our society today. And we have got to work together. We have got to redouble our efforts to work together to overcome that racism so that we can continue to strive for that society that we know is what we really want to have, a society that really truly respects everybody regardless of their background.
Senator Gishuhai.